You want to make a conlang for your video game. You're at the right place. Start by defining the purpose of the conlang. Creating a conlang for your video game depends on the grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure. In order to add your conlang into a video game, try to use some of these methods. Adding phrases into game interface, creating a custom vocabulary, and recording the sounds. After finishing the basic design of the game, you should start adding some elements that will use the words from your conlang. For example, make some custom UI screens, add signs that will contain many conlang words and their translations, or try to add some speech bubbles to the character, especially if there is a phrase that it wants to say during the gameplay.
But what phrases can be used in the gameplay?
Great question. You can add some phrases like hello, goodbye, welcome, but you can also make your own sentences. When you are working on a conlang vocabulary, you can create a simple book that will contain all the words in your conlang. This book can be very useful because it can be used for making all the words in one place. In order to start making the book, you can start writing a document, or you can make a 3D model of the book. Here's how I did that in Blender. I started from a cube, scaled it to this format and added some edge loops, Ctrl-R, to make the spine. I moved the mouse wheel to define the number of edge loops. I have copied the main object and made it thinner, so this part will be used for the pages. To make sure that I can animate the book, I had to add an armature.
An armature? How can I add that?
That's a good question. When you go to Preferences, Add-ons and find Rigify, you can start rigging. Add a single bone, move it to the bottom of the object, rotate it, and go to Edit mode. Now scale the bone to the top and subdivide it. I did it 2 times. Now, in order to animate the pages, I duplicated one of those bones, rotated it 90 degrees, and I also added the suffix .l in order to symmetrize the bones. Because one strip of those bones wasn't enough, I was still having problems. I had to add one strip on the top and another on the bottom of the object. And also add parenting. Ctrl-P, keep offset.
That sounds interesting, but how can I animate the book?
That's very simple. Select the main object, then select Armature, right-click Parent with automatic weights. Boom! Now you can animate your book. Go to Pose mode and try to do something with the bones. Here's what happens when I rotate those 3 bones. I mean bone strips.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Thank you, Willy. But to actually start animating the book, go to Animation and add a keyframe. Press I on the keyboard. Now we have a keyframe of the opened book. How do we make the closed book? That's simple. Go to Pose mode, make sure to select all the objects. I have made 1 book and 2 papers. Select all those objects and go to Pose mode. Now select the bones from the left side, rotate 180 degrees and move it to the top. Here's how it should look like. Make sure to select all the armatures and move the keyframes to make the animation look much more interesting, like opening one page by one.
Cool, but how did you close the book?
Well, that's simple. Select all the armatures, go to Pose mode, and now select all the right side objects. Rotate them 180 degrees to this side and move it to the top. After modifying the keyframes, here's how the animation of the book looks like. Download link in description. You can put it in your indie game if you are working on a 3D game project.
But what if I'm working on a 2D game project?
That's simple. Just try to make the drawings of the book instead.
Which engine should I choose for making a game?
Well, you can try any game engine, but I would recommend you to choose Unity because it has both 2D and 3D and is very easy to use. Okay, let's see how to implement all that features for a CONLANG project in a video game. We have the grammar, the phrases, the vocabulary, and now some 3D knowledge, like how to make a book for a vocabulary. Now, I think this step is just optional. If you like 3D modeling, you can use it, but if you don't like, you can skip this step. The easiest way to add words into your game project is by adding pop-up elements or signs to the environment. With only grammar rules, vocabulary, and sentence structures, you can make a basic communication between two characters in a game. I have also created some other conlangs that are not closely related to a Psognian language, simply because I wanted to make sure that the enemies won't speak the same language, like the player. It's advisable to make another language that will be modified so that your player won't understand the enemy. And adding new words will also be more interesting if you also record your voice saying those words. This is also perfect for practicing the phonology of the language and making some realistic sounds of the language that will appear to the player and the enemies also. I have created some simple wooden signs in Blender by adding one cube, scaling it, and also adding one object that will be for the sign. Just copy the cube and scale it to make it look like this. To make the sign look more interesting, go to edit mode and add some edge loops. Make it look like a wooden plank. And I have also UV unwrapped this model. I don't have to explain it right now, but you can download the full model in the description if you want to use it in your indie game. The model is also unwrapped and ready to texturize. You can change this texture with any word of your conlang.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Thank you, Willy. These are some basic steps you can use to try to make a conlang for a video game. I have made a small list of words that I primarily use in my conlang. Auists, letter. Jaisa, word. Jaisru, sentence. Ayompru, text. Ich jaisa, prefix. Sor jaisa, suffix. Ustsma, paper. Auvi, pen. Aubnot, write. Adjur, speak. Ayovnot, read. Ustsmov, book.
But why did you forget the diacritic on U?
Well, that's because usts is a different prefix. It has a different meaning than general, like when something is on paper. So, it's very important to make distinction between prefixes with or without diacritic vowels. Okay, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If you want to create a conlang for your indie game, I provide paid services and we can create an indie game together with your own conlang. And one more thing, these are the prices for the regular conlang creation services, as explained in the previous videos. And if you like this video, consider subscribing and I will make more tutorials about conlangs.
I'm wondering what kind of conlangs do the clients want to make.
So goodbye and wisruig.
Nitig to quisruig. Goodbye everyone. Make sure to also watch these videos.